state of breast cancer here in Chicago is Dr. Robert Wynn, the director of the University of Illinois Cancer Center, as well as Bonnie Gordon. She is the executive director of the Susan G. Komen here in Chicago. Thank you so much for talking with us today about breast cancer. Such an important subject for so many people that don't even think it affects them, and then boom, all of a sudden they become somebody that knows somebody or becomes somebody who has cancer. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
We talk about these numbers. 1 in 8 women in the U.S. will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime. That really hits close to home.
That's right, and I think that we've come a long way, though. So, you know, if you think about where breast cancer was in the 1960s, 1970s, even 1980s, we've done a remarkably amazing job of getting people better because of the screenings, quality screenings, because of the medicines that we use now. I mean, we're using molecular targeted therapy, immunotherapy. We have wonderful things, and most of all, we have patient awareness around the disease. So while we've done some progress, we can pat ourselves on the back. As you mentioned, 1 in 8. 40,000 women will still die this year from breast cancer, and 1,000 of those will be in Chicago. So while we've done a lot of very good work, there's still a long way to go.
Yeah, that really does. And when you put those numbers into perspective, it's like, wow, no wonder I know so many people that have had breast cancer. You know, we were just recently in the news, Julia Louis-Dreyfus talked about her breast cancer, and I know that she's got a son that goes to Northwestern, and so this really hits close to home for so many people here in Chicago.
Well, right. One of the things she talked about was that she's 1 in 8, but also she was lucky, like I was, high-quality health care, access to care. Many women don't. There's a 40% greater chance of a black woman in Chicago dying of breast cancer than a white woman. And so it's all about, I know October is breast cancer awareness, but it's really about action. It's about finding, if you find something, check it out, go to your physician. It's about getting your mammogram. We've got right now, you get 1,000 balance reward points from Walgreens if a woman gets her mammogram now. So, and an underserved woman will get her mammogram. $1 goes towards her fight. So it's really about evening the playing field. And as Dr. Wynn said, we've got this targeted therapy, but we've got to make sure everyone has high-quality health care.
You're a 2-time survivor of breast cancer. The first time, I gotta imagine, you get through this and you go through all of the procedures, and then it happens again. How devastating was that for you, and where did you keep your perspective?
It was really tough because it's unexpected. 16 years later, you think you're finished. But really, it's about knowing your body. The only reason I found out is I got my mammogram. I knew I had calcifications. So again, it's about staying on top of it and working with your physician to find it. But it's tough, but our goal here is to have everyone survive and thrive after a breast cancer diagnosis.
Doctor, I've always heard, you know, a woman in her 50s should get her mammograms on a regular basis, but I just had a guest in here earlier today, and she said, hey, do it in your 30s. There's nothing wrong with getting a baseline.
Well, you know, I think particularly if you have a family history, and so it all comes back down to thinking about you as a person, but recognizing what's going on with your family as well. And so if you do have aggressive or a history of aggressive breast cancer or any cancer, you need to probably think about getting checked out early.
Yeah, because it is hereditary. If somebody in your family
Interesting enough, 15% of breast cancers are associated, 85% are not. But as we think about BRCA2 and all these other genes, these things that we talk about, the truth of the matter is there is a genetic component. When you hear, my mom may have had breast cancer when she was 42, that's not something to ignore.
Really? Okay. Well, that's great advice, both of you. Thank you so much for coming in and reminding people, like, there's so many advances now in the medical field when it comes to breast cancer, but that also prevention and being on top of your health is so
Absolutely.
important.
And we want to invite everybody on October the 21st. Come join us at the Komen Chicago Gala.
That's right.
And also City Winery, the Rose 3K the same day.
All right. There's 2 events that they can get involved in.
That's right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We're not done here yet. We have still a lot more to come. Raging wildfires throughout California.